Have you ever imagined being in an ordinary moment in your life and suddenly feeling like everything could end in seconds? Imagine yourself driving with your seemingly peaceful routine, and suddenly everything changes in an instant. An unexpected accident, an impact that could have been the end of everything. That's exactly what happened to her, and what you're about to discover may surprise you in ways that words can't quite describe. Stay with me until the end, because this near-death experience will challenge your perception of life, death, and what perhaps exists beyond our vision. She not only felt her body freeze and her heart race, but she described sensations that many who have had near-death experiences report. A mixture of fear, peace, and a clarity that seems impossible to achieve at any other time in life. Have you ever experienced this? The feeling of being on the brink of something you can't explain, but that somehow changes everything inside you? What she shares goes beyond a simple accident. It's a story that touches on spirituality, one that raises questions about what it truly means to die for a few minutes and come back transformed. During this experience, each second seemed to expand and at the same time, become eternal. She describes lights, sensations of presence, feelings that touch the soul deeply and reveal aspects of life we often overlook. Her story isn't just about the accident itself, but about the discovery of something greater, something few have the chance to experience. What you'll discover now may make you look at your own existence in a whole new way and perhaps awaken the curiosity we all feel but rarely dare to explore. And when she finally regained consciousness, nothing seemed the same, and every detail of what she experienced seemed to carry a message that defied logic. But before we get to that, we need to understand how it all began and what really happened in the moments leading up to the unexpected. As you try to imagine every detail of this experience, you might be reflecting on your own life and what you would do if you were in a similar situation. If this topic resonates with you, leave a comment below with what touched you most, or if you've ever experienced something that changed your perspective on life. Sharing your experiences or feelings helps create a community where each story enriches everyone's understanding of these profound experiences. And if you feel like following more stories that explore spirituality and near-death experiences, liking the video and subscribing to the channel is a way to support us and ensure we can continue bringing you content that sparks reflection and inspiration. Your participation here is what makes this channel grow and reach more people who also seek to understand these moments that defy logic and touch the soul. By engaging, you not only help us continue producing this type of content, but you also contribute to more people having access to stories that can transform their own lives, just as these experiences transformed hers. And as you reflect on all this, it's important to continue paying attention to every detail we'll reveal below, because what happened in the seconds following the accident is something few have had the courage or the opportunity to experience and recount. Every sensation, every vision, and every emotion she described leads us to question the very essence of life and what truly exists beyond what we see. She had a routine that, to anyone, seemed peaceful. A normal day, heading to work, thinking about the day's tasks and commitments she needed to fulfill. But in that moment, everything suddenly changed. A second of distraction, a miscalculated turn, and the car lost control. The impact came like a violent wave that seemed to freeze time, leaving only the deafening sound of metal bending and glass shattering around you. Have you ever imagined what it would feel like to be on the brink of death? The feeling of helplessness, of seeing everything around you distorted while simultaneously feeling each second drag on, becoming almost infinite, is something ordinary words can barely describe. Amidst the chaos, she felt something strange, a clear consciousness that seemed to observe everything from the outside, as if watching her own life from a completely different perspective. Every detail of the accident was revealed with absurd intensity, the daylight reflecting off the shards of glass, the screeching of tires, and the sensation of her body being thrown in every direction. But at the same time, there was an unusual calm, a sense that something greater was present, something that seemed to watch, to care, even in the midst of imminent danger. It's difficult to explain how fear and peace could coexist in a single experience, but she felt both, and so vividly that her mind seemed to expand, perceiving layers of reality that had previously gone unnoticed. Now I want to delve even deeper into this topic, because it's not just about the accident itself, but about the revelations that emerge when someone crosses the fine line between life and death. The transformation that begins to occur in this moment goes far beyond the physical. It touches the mind, spirituality, and even decisions that previously seemed trivial, revealing a hidden truth about the value of each moment and the impact of the choices we make daily. Every sensation, every thought, every fragment of perception during those critical seconds becomes a piece of the journey that redefines everything this woman knew about herself, about life, and about what lies beyond what we can see. It's as if the backstage of existence is revealed, and the mind suddenly gains access to insights that ordinary life rarely allows. And as all this unfolded, she began to notice nuances she never imagined. The love that transcends words, the importance of each person around her, the weight and lightness of human choices. Every detail seemed to carry a message, a lesson that could only be understood by living through that intense, almost surreal experience. And then an inevitable question arises. Do we all have access to these revelations, or do they appear only to those who so closely touch the line between what we know and what remains invisible? Comment there, this makes sense to me. Her body was there, but her mind seemed to float on another plane, as if suddenly accessing a dimension beyond everyday comprehension. Each second expanded, transforming moments that once seemed fleeting into dense eternities of perception. She felt a strange lightness, as if the entire weight of the world had been lifted from her shoulders, and at the same time, a deep visceral fear that penetrated every cell of her body. It's hard to imagine the intensity of this contrast. The feeling of being on the brink of death, yet at the same time sensing something so vast and welcoming that it seemed to embrace not just her body, but her very soul. What happened in that moment wasn't limited to physical sensations or the shock of the accident. She described visions that defy any logical explanation, an intense, serene light that not only illuminated the room but seemed to radiate understanding and peace, as if revealing a hidden truth about life and existence itself. Every color, every brightness, every sensation had such a strong emotional impact that it became impossible not to feel transformed just by imagining it. It was as if the backstage of reality were exposed before her, and the mind gained access to revelations that normally remain hidden, beyond the reach of everyday perception. During this experience, time lost its usual meaning. Past, present, and future intertwined, and every memory, every decision made throughout her life seemed to float before her with almost cinematic clarity. It was as if she could observe her entire journey simultaneously, understanding the impacts and consequences of choices that previously seemed insignificant. In the midst of this, an intense, almost tangible presence conveyed a sense of care, protection, and guidance, something she felt was divine, spiritual, and beyond human explanation. The combination of fear, light, peace, and profound revelations created an experience so intense it couldn't be described simply as a dream or hallucination. It was a complete internal transformation, an expansion of consciousness that forever changed her perception of the world. Every detail seemed to carry silent messages about love, connection, and purpose, revealing subtleties that go unnoticed in everyday life. It's as if everything she experienced was paving the way for a greater understanding, for different decisions and mindsets from that moment on. And as each sensation unfolded with almost palpable intensity, an inevitable question arose. Do we all have access to this dimension, or does it only open up when life reaches its extreme limit? As she floated between dimensions that felt simultaneously familiar and utterly unfamiliar, certain insights began to reveal themselves with startling clarity. What had previously gone unnoticed in everyday life now became essential. The value of relationships, the depth of the love we give and receive, the need to forgive not only others, but ourselves. Every detail of her existence seemed charged with meaning, and she felt as if every decision she'd made up until that point had had an invisible impact, shaping her journey in ways she'd never understood. The transformation that began at that moment wasn't just emotional, it was a shift in mindset, in the way she perceived the world and assigned value to the things that truly mattered. Now I want to delve even deeper into this topic, because what she experienced touches on points many of us ignore. Her sense of purpose in life manifested itself in an intense, almost tangible way, demonstrating that every choice, no matter how small, has an invisible impact on us and those around us. Experts in near-death experiences and consciousness research corroborate this type of account, indicating that near-death moments can trigger unprecedented insights into life, revealing hidden truths that remain inaccessible in everyday life. She perceived, almost literally, how every gesture, every word, every decision is an invisible thread that weaves the tapestry of our existence, and how life can be richer and more meaningful when we are able to see beyond the immediate. At the same time, the presence of something greater, which she described as divine or spiritual, brought a silent but powerful lesson. Forgiveness, empathy, and gratitude are not just concepts, but transformative tools that shape our journey and impact the reality around us. Each emotion felt in that expanded state of consciousness carried a subtle yet profound message that invited reflection on how we lead our lives, how we deal with fear, and how we connect with the people we love. And as these revelations came with almost palpable intensity, she began to realize that many of the answers she sought had always been tied to our attention to detail, our exercise of choice, and our courage to live authentically. Inevitable questions then arise. How often do we fail to appreciate simple moments? How many opportunities to love or forgive do we miss out of distraction or fear? Each of us carries this possibility of transformation, but it takes courage to see what often remains hidden beneath routine and habits. Comment there, "This makes sense to me." And then suddenly, everything changed again. The body that had previously seemed to float between dimensions began to slowly return to awareness of physical reality. The shock was immediate. The sensation of having been on the brink of the unknown left a profound, almost tangible impact that seemed to reverberate in every thought and every cell. Her heart was racing, her breath was labored, her eyes were dazed, trying to comprehend how she had gone from a transcendental experience to the tangibility of the real world. But alongside the shock was an immense relief, a silent gratitude for being alive, for being able to touch every detail of everyday life again, even the simplest, with renewed awareness. Every gesture, every breath, every sound around her seemed charged with meaning, as if life had gained a new texture, a dimension that had previously gone unnoticed. Returning to life brought with it an internal transformation that goes far beyond what can be measured externally. She began to approach each decision with a different mindset, valuing relationships, and recognizing the impact each word or gesture can have on others. Small moments gained importance, previously automatic choices became conscious, and understanding of the value of time and human connection intensified dramatically. It's as if the experience had opened the curtains of existence itself, revealing hidden truths about priorities, purpose, and the way we live. The journey didn't end when we emerged from the near-death state. In fact, it just began in a deeper way, filled with lessons that transform not only our perception of life, but also our ability to positively influence the world around us. This transformation also resulted in concrete changes. She began to practice more empathy, reconnect with people who previously seemed distant, and value simple aspects of everyday life that previously went unnoticed. Every decision began to be made with greater awareness, and the mind itself seemed more open to perceiving signs, subtleties, and opportunities for personal growth. If this can change someone's life, why can't it change yours too? The feeling of renewal, of seeing the world with more attentive eyes and a more receptive heart, is something that touches us deeply and makes us reflect on our own journey. Gradually, the intensity of the experience began to subside, but the emotional and spiritual impact remained vivid within her, like an indelible mark that transforms not only the present but also the way we see the past and the future. Every detail of that near-death experience continued to resonate in her mind, revealing layers of perception that had previously been invisible. The light he felt, the sense of peace intertwined with fear, the expanded perception of time, and the clarity about his own choices. All of this left a profound impression, showing that life is much more than the daily routine or immediate problems. It is a journey full of meaning, where every decision carries an impact, and every human connection carries a value we often overlook until we encounter the unexpected. Now I want to delve even deeper into this topic, because these experiences not only change the perception of those who experience them, but also invite us to reflect on our own lives. It's as if a hidden truth is revealed, showing that transformation can happen at any moment, and that our mindset and choices carry much more weight than we imagine. Hearing stories like hers, we realize that the universe of spirituality and human consciousness is vast and full of hidden depths we rarely see. And it is precisely in these moments, when we confront the boundary between life and death, that revelations about love, forgiveness, purpose, and the importance of every action and feeling emerge. Every person who experiences a near-death experience returns with insights that can inspire, motivate, and even redefine the journey of those who hear these stories. The impact is profound because it forces us to reconsider priorities, to appreciate moments that previously seemed small, and to look at life with a different sensitivity. The sense that each moment carries the potential for learning and transformation becomes clear, and her journey becomes a powerful example of how these experiences can open new spiritual horizons and expand consciousness in unexpected ways. Comment there, "This makes sense to me." If you've made it this far, it's because you've truly allowed yourself to delve into this story and reflect on every detail of this experience that challenges our understanding of life and consciousness. And that's precisely the kind of content we seek to bring you, stories that inspire, provoke reflection, and awaken a new perception of who we are and the world around us. So if this video touched you in any way, take advantage and leave your like, showing that this connection we created here made sense, and comment something like "I'm with you until the end," just so I know you were with me on this journey. And if you feel like continuing to explore these stories, insights, and reflections, subscribe to the channel. Here, each video is designed to take you deeper into transformative experiences, true journeys of self-discovery and spirituality, offering not only stories but also lessons that can impact the way you see life. There's a video here that complements this topic, and it delves even deeper into these accounts of near-death experiences, showing other stories that provoke powerful reflections on love, purpose, and transformation. Click and stay with me there, because the journey doesn't stop here, and each experience you follow can be one more step towards seeing life with new eyes and a renewed sensitivity.